If women have been historically oppressed, where did the expression ladies first come from?
Cuz, let the bitches go. You gotta let the ladies go first. The ladies, look at her. Like, look, why wouldn't you let her go first?
We real bad bitches. You gotta let a real bad bitch go. Like, it came from men.
Oh man, what a hilarious response. Hey, gentlemen, welcome back. Glad to have you here on the channel. And as always, and definitely a fan favorite, we're going to be covering more topics from It's Complicated channel, and definitely subscribe to his channel as well if you haven't already. I'd be very surprised if you weren't, given you're watching this. But yeah, we're going to go through it. I know a majority of you realize we're no longer living in a patriarchal world, but there are people out here who still can't wrap their heads around that. As we see on the street, people realize that women have equal or greater powers than men in this current age, but are too proud to admit it on camera. Well, let's not waste too much more time. Like my content on the way in, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell. And we'll continue with it.
Believing that women are so, like, I guess, dainty and fragile that they put women first, because that comes from misogyny and the patriarchy as well.
What is...
Yeah, no. It's just always been the standard. It's chivalry of all things. You know, but then again, I don't feel the need to, if I see anybody coming behind me, I'm opening the door and keeping it open for them. I'm obviously not going to do that if they're quite a few paces away, but if somebody's right behind me, I am not slamming the door on their forehead. That's just not cool.
Patriarchy, and why do so many women complain about it?
Patriarchy is outdated and non-existent.
Okay, would you agree, though, that it's defined as a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it?
Okay, yes, we're talking about like 1600s England.
All of the...
Yeah, they're just so stuck in the past and don't realize that in the current, women have the say in pretty much everything, and that continues to seep into, holy hell, the media, into companies, into how women control men. It's just such an outdated concept.
Rules of our society were created by men. All of the positions of power are held by men, for the most part. And
thanks for correcting yourself. For the most part, there's definitely a lot of women in Senate in the States, and there's a lot of women in Parliament in Canada. So like, yeah.
in every aspect of how our society functions was decided by men.
I would say that the patriarchy is a system put in place that helps white men specifically, right?
Okay.
In putting them into positions of power so that they can continue taking care of the system instead of dismantling it. Because anyone who has a real opinion and goes into the system trying to fix it is silenced, and that's a fact.
Why do people believe patriarchy?
I wouldn't say so. Like, currently, for anybody that follows Canadian politics, there's a woman that's heading the current bill to ban semi-automatic rifles from being purchased and used in Canada, and that's going to affect hunters too, which is sad and would affect a lot of people's livestock. And again, this is being headed by a woman, trying to make a massive change in the world just because of the very little amount of gun violence that's in Canada. So just again, very outdated notions that these people have, that the patriarchy still runs everything.
Patriarchy was built by men to serve men if men are victims of their own design.
That's an excellent question, because guys sometimes don't think of it. There are sensitive men out there, and they do get put down for it.
If we live in a patriarchy, why are men held
Yeah, exactly.
more accountable than women?
Well, because, we're the forefront of things. We're always going to be the forefront of things when we go to war, when we, are the face in the public, presidency and all that when it comes to status, the highest level of status.
Is that a privilege or is that a responsibility?
I believe it's a responsibility.
Because
It is a responsibility in most modern workforces. There's a lot of equality, people being hired only almost specifically because of their race or gender being different than, cis white men. At this point, it really should be responsibility, and it's not. Everybody's just so caught up in trying to balance, balance everything instead of just having it be what it should be. The most, the most fitting person for the job is the person that should be in the position. It's not privilege.
because we're men. We, like you said, we do. You said we designed everything. We do everything, so everything comes back on us. The blame.
Is that male privilege or is that male responsibility?
Male responsibility.
So why do so many people think we have male privilege when we actually have responsibilities that women don't?
Damn, I don't know. I'm finna go home and fucking think about it, because that's a good ass question.
If we live in such a patriarchal society,
man's rocked.
Where did all these laws come from that protect women and punish men?
That's a good one too. That's a really good one too. Honestly, I feel like it would probably have boiled down from either men that have like more of a feminine mindset, not to be like offensive, or like just men that have, daughters and wives and just I don't know where to make that specifically, not for them, but like essentially for them, to not only protect their daughters and wives and stuff, but everybody's daughters and wives.
Do you think that patriarchy is the cause of gender roles or is it the result of gender roles?
No, gender roles are natural because of physiology and biology.
Right. Men were the hunters and women were the gatherers, right?
Yeah, I think
This guy has a lot of common sense in him. But anyways, I think we've watched enough content for the day. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes with YouTube. I can only keep your attention for so long, and I would love to do something like this in a Patreon video, but we're not pushing out content to Patreon yet. I've gotta get more of you into my channel and interested before I start saying, hey, get on there. But either way, I appreciate your viewership. I'll eventually earn that from you all. Gonna wrap it up in conclusion. It's complicated, really. It never misses. He's presented many points to dismantle that we are no longer living in a patriarchy. We're always held accountable due to our responsibilities, us being men, obviously. But women are protected and men are punished. Always. They don't want to do the dirty jobs. They're not enlisted into war, blah, 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 blah. So one of the things that I mentioned before here is, I wonder, do you gentlemen still hold the door open for women, even though it's seen as oppressing dainty old women? Leave a comment down below. I'm generally curious, or do you hit them with the equality of, I don't care anymore, chivalry is dead? Thank you for watching, as always. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And always do your due diligence when it comes to these matters.